Hello, welcome to episode 2 of Cry Me a River, the wrestling podcast for wrestling fans by wrestling fans. This particular episode is a special dedication going out to a good friend of mine and some kinfolk too. My nephew, you know who you are. I'm not going to say your name out loud, but you know who you are. Because part of this is on you, bud. If it wasn't for you, then a lot of this wouldn't be happening. So just know that we're dedicating a post-Wrestlemania episode to you. Now, we got 4 shows to cover today, don't we, Jay?
Yeah, that's a lot.
Okay, all right. So let's get into it. We're not going to cover every match on the Raw and the SmackDown, but we're going to give you a couple of key points and some opinions on them. Okay, we knew that Cody was going to get beat up on Friday night on SmackDown. We'll start off with that. We knew that was going to happen.
Cody always gets beat up in real time. Like, I don't know what else to
Cody
say.
get beat up like every 4 days. Just Cody going to get beat up. Well, I don't think he has to worry about that now because all the people that would beat him up just left. So Rock beat him up and then he left. Then Roman beat him up and then he left. I guess he can still get beat up by Jimmy and Solo.
Right.
That's who he got left. But he can put Solo through a table. So that's that. All right. So at SmackDown, they had the Andre the Giant Battle Royal Memorial Tournament that Bronson Reed won. I think this tournament has outlived its usefulness, to be honest.
I feel like it could because it used to also mean when you won the tournament, you got to be on the show of shows. You got to be at the Mania. Like, even if you weren't doing anything, you were at least there. And so it was a way to put you over, and it meant that you were a big deal. But they don't even necessarily do that anymore. So it's kind of weird. I'm not even going to lie. Just having that every time before WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think they should probably retire that. And speaking of things that they retired and they're bringing back the King and Queen of the Ring. How you feeling about that?
I actually love the idea of bringing back the King and Queen of the Ring. I just think the only thing is whoever you make King or Queen of the Ring, you need to stick with it and you need to make it mean something. Because you had a good thing going last time you did it, but you let it die too soon. And so then it was kind of all for naught.
Yeah. It's got to mean something. It was almost like a title.
Right.
It was almost like a belt. When you had the King of the Ring, you were at the pay-per-views. It meant, premium live events. But yeah, that was a thing. Like you could do that, and it was an important title, and you got certain perks with it, and you didn't get to come out every week with that stupid crown, but they referred to you as the King of the Ring, and it meant something, and it led to your booking being stepped up. You were in more prominent spots. But I feel like they floundered it the last couple of times, and I don't know. And I guess they retired it when they should have because it didn't mean anything anymore. But hopefully they'll restore it and bring it back, and it'll be a good thing. Yeah. What else happened notable on SmackDown? I know they had the Andrade heel turn, and I only bring that up because it tied.
Face turn.
The face turn, and I only bring that up because it tied in the night one of WrestleMania.
Well, I love the Andrade face turn because you already know going in that means he's going to be Ray's partner. And if he's Ray's partner, that again is going to make my man's Carlito very mad. And I love a heel Carlito. That was one of my favorite things watching growing up was heel Carlito. So that's the best ever.
Heel Carlito is pretty good. I will admit that. Heel Carlito is pretty good. Other than that, not a lot went on SmackDown. I know the same thing happened with Raw. They do more talking than they do wrestling.
Yeah. That's just how that goes.
And that's how, and their ratings are higher and they make more money now than they have in the last 5 years. And they don't wrestle anymore. But that's a story for another day. Anyway, moving on to WrestleMania. Night 1. Wow, that's all I got. And the first match. Wow, that's all I got. Becky and Rhea. Wow, that's all I got.
So the first match though with strep throat is crazy. I'm not even gonna lie. Like,
yeah, straight silly.
Becky Lynch had strep throat?
With a fever of 103 now. That's what they're telling us now.
That's insane.
Yeah. See, I don't know if I'm trying to wrestle with her with strep throat, though, because strep throat is highly contagious. And we got to, like, exchange. Oh, no, I can't do that.
I was wondering about that myself.
So that makes me think the strep throat thing might have been a way to get Becky out of this so she doesn't look bad.
Well, see, I actually heard that too.
I don't know. That seemed a little odd to me. I'm like, if she got strep throat that bad, I'm not wrestling her. I'll wrestle somebody else from the crowd. I'm not wrestling her. No, that's not a thing.
Also, in real time, I've had strep throat once or twice, but it doesn't just mess up your breathing and your throat a little bit. It also screws up your stomach. So I don't know if you could take some of those bumps. And if you have strep throat, maybe it wasn't as bad for her. I don't know. But it was almost like a stomach bug for me too when I got it. Yeah,
it does mess with you. But regardless of all that, great match to start the program off with. To start off your WrestleMania with that. Awesome match.
It was beautiful.
It was. And you know these two girls are going to get it in anyway. You know Rhea gets it in. You know Becky going to get it in because she's on the showcase of the Immortals. So she's going to do what she does.
I would have loved to have seen them even main event night one. I knew it wasn't going to happen. But in real time, it was that. I feel like the best match of the first night.
It might have. Yeah. To start your. Well, see, the only thing about that is, you set the bar really high now. Because if that's your first match, you set the bar really high because that was a really, really, really good match. Shout out to Rhea. We knew she was going to do what she does because she is who we thought she was. So, bars. Okay. Then we went to my favorite. And I say that with my tongue firmly implanted in my cheek. The six-pack ladder match. Okay, who here thought that the Judgment Day were going to keep both the belts? If you do, you're an idiot. You're a total, complete idiot. We both knew, everybody knew what was going to happen. The Judgment Day knew what was going to happen. That was like one of the worst kept secrets. We knew that the Judgment Day were going to lose the belts. Now, who they lost them to, I wouldn't have picked.
Well, I will say in your defense, if you did see Judgment Day keeping the belts, I started to think they were going to because they came out, like Finn Balor had that crazy bag on his head, the bag mask, and Damian Priest had some kind of crazy mask on. And I noticed whenever they come out with a mask on, they wrestle next level.
What did your boy Drew call it? A bondage undertaker?
Right. Whenever bondage undertaker come out in a mask.
Bondage undertaker.
Whenever Finn Balor's got that bag mask on his head, he come out looking like
I don't know what it is. He
like a scarecrow or something.
Yeah. I guess, now that I think about it, it probably wouldn't have been that far off for you to think they were going to retain. It's just that I knew that they probably, because the draft is coming up.
Right.
So that's I knew they're going to have to split the belts up anyway. And I doubt if they're going to swap belts in shows like they did, like with the whole Charlotte Becky thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't.
That was a debacle.
We can never do that again. But, okay, the A-Town Down Under won this SmackDown belts. How we feeling about that?
I don't know. I kind of like A-Town Down Under. But me personally, if I was picking somebody in that situation, I would have picked Pretty Deadly. I feel like they're a better tag team. I feel like they do better tag team wrestling. I like them a little bit more. I don't know. They're endearing. They get it done in the ring. They're good on the mic. And they're still goofy.
They are, but I can see them turning face, being goofy, and the crowd getting behind them. I really can. Because they're so goofy that you can't hate Pretty Deadly. They're so goofy. You can't hate them. Like, it's Roman Reigns. You can hate Roman Reigns. Like, you can legitimately hate Roman Reigns. You can legitimately hate Austin Theory. Even though he's immensely talented, his body is something out of Steroid magazine. But
Right.
That dude is insane. And I see Waller found his way to a gym, and I noticed he's looking a little bit more cut up too, because he was looking like spaghetti sticks when he first got there. But anyway, we're not gonna go into that. I noticed WrestleMania. He looking a little bit thicker. So I'm glad he found his way to the gym. I'm glad he let it. I'm glad that yeah, he let him use his pass for a little bit. I'm glad Theory.
Right.
I'm glad Theory let him use his pass. So, but yeah, okay, and and we're gonna talk about this because I know you want to talk about it. Who won the tag team belts for Raw?
You already know who it was, baby. Let's go. My boy's the Awesome Truth.
Like, I'm sorry, I loved R-Truth since he came into WWE. That's my dude. Like, I'm happy to see anything R-Truth does. And he had his first WrestleMania moment. Like,
I am surprised that he has been in that company that long and never had a WrestleMania moment.
I feel like there's no one on your roster that deserves a WrestleMania moment more than R-Truth in real time.
That's true. That's true. Because he's really worked, and his gimmick is what he's done with the gimmick is, he plays the confused character, whatever. All the 24/7 stuff. He's been great in everything you've given him, though. He's nailed it, like all of it. So, yeah, it was actually good to see him get his due. And and then on in WrestleMania 2, yeah, it was good. It's better than being at a house show. At WrestleMania in front of 75,000 people, that's great.
A crap ton.
Yeah, a whole bunch. So that was great.
In real time, I'll say the fans went berserk on the stage. I was jumping up and down in the house.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool moment. It was a pretty cool
I
moment.
went berserk watching at home. I'm like, let's go.
Because to be honest, I know we had that conversation about giving Miz another U.S. title run.
Well, also, because Miz is also so good. So
because Miz is still good. Miz still has a lot to give. And I think people can still legitimately hate or legitimately love Miz, which means that Miz did his job effectively.
Right.
Like, if he decides to be face, which I think he is now, then people are going to love Miz. Because Miz knows what to say to irritate people. And he uses it both ways. So, it's good. It's good. We like the fact that they won, and it was a great moment. I should have seen confetti. Confetti would have been the only thing to make it better.
Facts.
Yeah, that was a great moment when he was on the ladder holding up the belt. Yeah, that was sweet. That was sweet. Okay, Rey and Andrade versus Santos Escobar,
right?
And Dirty Dom.
So,
what we doing here?
I don't know. I mean, I low-key wanted Dom to get a win, a WrestleMania win over Pop. I'm not gonna lie.
I thought that's what they would have done since Ray won the first one. I thought maybe they would have split them up, and that would have set you up for SummerSlam because they'd have been one up.
See,
and you could have built that in the SummerSlam, and then now you got, and that's like father, son. So that's a little intrigue there. You're blurring a few lines. You can do that.
I feel like that was great.
Yeah. But I don't know if that match did what I think it should have done.
Well, I don't know. The ending was not ideal for me. Not that I have a problem with Jason Kelsey, but I don't know. I didn't necessarily want that in my wrestling. Not the way that match ended.
Yeah, but it was WrestleMania though.
Yeah.
And up until that point, you really hadn't had any surprises.
Yeah.
So you kind of had to, every time, whatever city they have them in, there's always some football star. It's Gronk, and they've been doing that since like Lawrence Taylor,
Actually, now that you put it that way, it actually does make more sense to me because they, like you said, they have done that for literally ever, now that I think about it.
Yeah, they had Kittle in there, and he's in San Francisco, and yeah. So, yeah, where they playing, wherever they are, that's what they do.
Actually, it does make sense.
Yeah, that's what they do. So, I'm kind of with you on that for real, because I see where you're going with that. I don't know if they would have won without the help of those guys.
No, Jason Kelsey, and also he still looks too good a shape.
Not to casually ripping out the shirt, and still just being as big as ever.
Yeah, first of all, and keep in mind he's a center, so He's not going to be a small dude anyway. All right, because I knew when I said, I have never in my life seen a luchador that big. He has a mask on.
That was screwing
That
me
is
up.
a big luchador.
I was like, who are these people claiming to be like with Ray masks on? They're humongous. Like,
I'm fairly sure these dude ate 4 luchadors in the parking lot. These are the biggest luchadors I've ever seen in my entire life.
Like, put them up against 3 stables of luchadors and they would probably win.
Yes,
They're humongous.
They will outweigh all of them. Just Jason Kelsey by himself. And this isn't to say Jason Kelsey is fat. He is a massive man.
Yeah,
that's part. He's a lot of humanity. He just is. And to have a luchador mask on is actually kind of funny for me. I said, because when I saw him in the crowd, I was like, there's just some shenanigans going on here. I don't know what, but that's a mighty big luchador.
That was kind of funny.
And the other one that's a kind of tall luchador. They don't grow luchadors that tall, do they? Maybe they do. I don't know.
I mean, there's a few, but
there's a few. But yeah, the tall dude and the big dude. Oh no, it's something crazy going on there. All right, next match, Jay and Jimmy.
I had so high expectations for that match. I'm not saying it was necessarily the worst match ever, but I don't feel like it was necessarily a great match.
I feel like it was the worst match of night 1.
I might even go as far as to say the worst match of WrestleMania.
I don't know. Night 2 was pretty good. I might subscribe to that. When we get to the second night, we'll go through some matches, but I might subscribe to that. I might subscribe to it. Yeah, that is. I feel like the spot they had in the Bloodline Rules match was way better than anything that they did in their match between each other. Plus, if you're trying to build up Jay, nothing you did. I mean, Jimmy, if you did nothing in this match you did built Jimmy up. Jimmy may actually be in a worse status now than he was when you did that.
I don't know. I feel like it was kind of weird. The one thing I did like, though, was he did hit the brother angle. I'm your brother. Oh, you cannot beat me up. Don't do this to me. I'm your brother. And then he fell for it, and then he starts whooping him. And then,
yeah, that was a good spot. That may have been the best spot of the match. But yeah, I wasn't a fan of that match because I didn't really feel like I felt like you could have had Jimmy win.
I feel like you could have had Jay win, and you could have had either one win, and it could have been a better match.
I felt like you could have had Jimmy win because there wasn't anything. Well, I know you don't want to wreck Jay's momentum, but it's Jimmy. If you're trying to, if he's going to get beat by anybody, it should be his brother, right? Yeah, because they know each other.
But Jimmy's brother, I think, should always win, but that's me.
But Jimmy's the oldest by 9 minutes, I think it is.
Right.
7 minutes or something stupid like that. But Jimmy's the oldest, and I feel like if you want to elevate Jimmy to like you elevated Jay, you got to do more with Jimmy in this match than what you did with him.
Well, maybe that's also a build-up to WrestleMania problem because they could have done more with him to the build-up, I feel like, to get him to that level before the match. But
they kept that feud hot for 8 months.
Yeah.
And that's a long time to keep a feud hot. Definitely. That's like 54 pay-per-view. But they had a whole lot to, but I just know the build-up was way better than the match was.
Maybe it's also unfair because maybe I expected too much out of the match. But I know they're both immaculate performers, and so I was expecting a little bit better match than I got.
Yeah, I definitely was.
Even with that being said, it was still cool in one aspect, though, the twin versus twin thing, and they had all the stuff going on.
See, that was the thing, though. That build-up was beautiful. A lot of it wrote itself.
Right.
So you didn't have to work real hard to try to find that kind of intrigue and then because it's big brother and little brother and big brother, little brothers fight. Okay, fine. That writes itself. You just let that go where it's going. You add a few little pieces and you keep it moving. And I feel like a no contest would have been better than what we got.
Well,
because if Jimmy hits Jay with a chair, it doesn't necessarily elevate Jimmy, but it doesn't hurt Jay. If you're trying to push Jay, which eventually I think he's trying to push him for who Logan's belt, right? No, it'd be Sammy. It'd be Sammy. You're right. So I feel like eventually they would try to do that. I think he should probably beat Sammy. But that's a different story. Anyway, yeah, I just think that if it's a no contest, say Jimmy comes in and beats Jay with a chair, okay. And like brutally beats it, just like beats him down. Now we got a story moving forward about Jay and Jimmy, like, hey, you didn't have to do that to me in WrestleMania. We brothers. You treat me this way, that way, the other way. We not no. You know what? This is family warfare. We're done now. And then they go and they do something spectacular.
Well, I feel like also it would have been a little bit better. I don't know. I feel like it would have been better if it was more wrestling oriented, almost, because the way that they were fighting, it didn't even seem. It seemed more kind of like an MMA rules match.
Not even. It's like I super kick you and you super kick me, and I super kick you and you super kick me, and then I have a kind of finishing move, but not exactly. Frog splash, ring the bell.
I don't know.
I don't know. I just felt like there should have been more wrestling in it. Like I don't think there was a lot of wrestling in that match. I just felt like everybody got their moves in, but it wasn't any like I would have liked to have seen more. And I'm not saying they got to be like Chad Gable and be the technical wrestlers. I'm not saying they got to do all that. But I just felt like there should have been more actual wrestling in that match. I didn't feel like there was any wrestling in it.
All I'm saying is a Samoan drop or two wouldn't have hurt.
Yeah, I want it.
From both guys.
Yeah, because last time I checked, they were both Samoan.
Right.
So they can do a Samoan drop, right?
Yeah.
All right, that's a thing. So, yeah, I wasn't that happy with that match. I mean, I know Jay won, and maybe Jay probably should have won, but I think they could have went in a different direction with that. And then to follow that with Gunther and Sammy, oh my gosh. Gunther beat the crap out of
Like,
he beat the crap out of Sammy, as usual, because Sammy can't win a match unless he get the crap beat out of him anyway.
facts.
Good
Like,
gracious.
his chest has to change every color possible in order for him to stand a chance at winning the match.
Yeah, that's how you know when Sammy's about to win a match, because his chest is rainbow.
Right. It has to go red, and it has to go purple, and it has to go blue.
Yeah. And you're like, hey, Sammy's got a shot.
Right.
Why? Because he looks almost dead. That's why. They kill Sammy. Sammy can win. Yeah, if Sammy doesn't have any marks on him, it'd be like a win.
That's one of the one things about Sami Zayn, and he's the best ever at selling the fact that he might actually be dead. Like, and he looks like he might be dead. If you see the stuff they're doing to him, like,
Sammy is the absolute best at selling death. Yes.
I'm watching and I'm like, oh my gosh, is he okay? Like,
Yeah, and all that stuff about and taking his fist and slamming it back.
right.
Man, it was good stuff. It was good stuff. I love that match. And let's talk about the Brain Buster.
Yo, that was one of the wildest frame busters I've seen in forever. I always have loved the life out of a brain buster. That's one of the coolest moves ever to me. One of my favorite finishers of all time is the dead level. But,
Yes, right. Oh, the dead level was awesome, though. Oh my gosh.
But I was saying, also protecting the person you're wrestling with an avalanche brain buster off a turnbuckle is insane.
It's crazy.
That means you might actually have to be the best wrestler on the planet.
To make it look devastating and still not be like,
Well, because it wasn't like he didn't actually drop his head on the turn. Like his neck didn't actually go straight into the turnbuckle and almost died.
yeah, it didn't. Yeah, when you saw it on replay, you realize what he did. But at regular speed, it looks so nasty. You're like, Gunther is actually concussed. He must be concussed because it was lethal looking. But props to Sammy for being a pro, because he is who we thought he was. Sammy has always been that guy. Say whatever you want to about him in the bloodline. Sammy is a pro. I mean, a pro. He can do this.
Yes.
Sammy can do this now. Let's not short Sammy anything. But that was a great match. And then, Gable comes out, whatever, with the little thing before the match.
Well,
you got this and all of this. We got all that.
even Gunther, when he was talking to Sammy's wife, I was like, actually, I loved him playing into the, oh, look at what I'm doing to your husband. Somebody get him some help. You should have left the kid at home.
Yeah, and you see the shirt he had on Monday, right?
Yeah.
It said, "Hey, Khadijah, I did it." Yes, you did do it. And you did it rather well, I might add.
So Gunther is also great. I don't know. It was a great match all the way around. I loved all of it.
Two great competitors in the match doing what they do. Showing you can tell that they both are good at their craft. And it was a really, really good match. A really good match.
They both laid in everything possible.
Yeah, they did. They did. And we enjoyed seeing Sammy get beat up and then coming back and be like, and we love to see the baby faces fight for one another. We do.
Right.
And then when Gunther starts getting cocky and like you say, talking to his wife and everything, you're like, man, I want Gunther smashed.
Right,
so,
right.
so it was pretty phenomenal. That was a great match. That was maybe the best match of the night.
That match was
incredible. Yeah,
was a war to the end.
That was a war to the end. Between that and Rhea, those were match. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Those were quite the matches. Okay, the last match on night one was Rock and Roman, Cole and Seth. For the right to have bloodline rules, night two. Now, tell me you thought that Cole and Seth were going to win this match.
So, to bloodline rules or not to bloodline rules? That is the question.
Of course it's bloodline rules. Because first of all, you want Cody to have every obstacle in the possible history of the world. You need like an earthquake, 3 thunderstorms, and a tidal wave so that he can't make the venue so he can win the match. And that's what you got. You got to do that. Yeah, you got to have every obstacle in the history of man. So of course he was going to lose this match. But Seth took a beating. No,
Seth took a beating so bad. I was like, I don't honestly think he's like. I know he's scheduled for the second night, but from a human standpoint, I don't know if he can do it. I
don't know if he's gonna make it.
Yeah, I don't know if he's gonna make it, bro. Like, I was like, Seth, please just stop getting beat up.
And he wouldn't.
I'm like, just quit. Say I quit or something, bro. I don't know what to tell you.
Is this how I quit match? Because I would like for you to quit. Like, I couldn't watch him get beat up anymore.
I was like, just tap out. This is worse than Sammy because Sammy fought back a little bit sometimes. He's just getting pummeled.
They beat that man. What did JR always used to say? They beat him like a rented mule. They
beat him like a rented mule and then resold him. Like.
They beat Seth to death. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, he got to wrestle tomorrow.
See, and that was one of the most baffling things to me ever. I was like, ain't no way you took a beating like that and you're even able to walk tomorrow. Me? Well, I'm not coming out of the hot tub.
Well, and that was the thing. So he was on the last match of night one and the first match of night two. So he had the least amount of time possible to recover from this.
That's what I'm saying, dude. That was insane.
Yeah, so yeah, he had the least amount of time of anybody on WrestleMania to recover from the whooping he got.
Yeah.
I mean, so that was terrible. Like, so, I mean...
That's the other thing is practically no time to recover at all.
Yeah, like, you need at least 3 or 4 days to recover from a beating like that, even in a wrestling match, because your body's sore, you've been taking bumps. You're going to need at least maybe 2 or 3 days and some ice and some more stuff. And like I said, he had a matter of hours.
And some ibuprofen.
Oh, no, you got to have some... I was not strong on ibuprofen because they beat the ibuprofen out of Seth. They beat him down. That was rough. That
was one of the craziest.
Yeah. I know it's wrestling, but it was uncomfortable to see him beat him down like that though. Like It really was. Like, can you not beat him? Like, can you whoop up on Cody's thumb? Because I know Cody's gonna win tomorrow. So let's just whoop up on him some.
And then they beat up Seth like they had been beating Cody the whole time. Except for sometimes Cody's was over a few course of days. His was just constant though.
Yeah, they
just constant, just
wham. Yeah, they just beat him. It was rough.
And every time he tried to fight back, he get beat up again and go through a table and something else. So
yeah, I couldn't.
That's insane.
That was rough. I couldn't really. That was rough. Yeah, I just didn't want to watch that anymore.
And kudos to him for coming back tomorrow and wrestling. Because I'm not gonna lie, after that match, I was like, R.I.P. Seth Rollins.
Yeah, that kind of worked against him on night two, which I think is kind of what we wanted because we know how beat up Seth is and he needs to go away for a while.
Well, respectfully, he should. Like, he should be able to take the time he needs to, like, also, he shouldn't have to always, like, he definitely turned that belt into something, but and it probably had to be him really, but he should be able to take time off if he needs it to get better and do whatever. He shouldn't always have to carry the company a little bit.
Well, they were saying that if he kept the belt, he was going to try to keep soldiering on, knowing full well that he's got other things he's got to take care of himself. So he's going to have to take some time off. So him dropping the strap is going to be probably the best thing for him. And that way he can go away and he can get himself healed up to some extent, maybe have the surgeries he needs, and then come back, and he's going to have a tremendous pop when he comes back because he had a tremendous pop when he left. He loves Seth Rollins. Even with that crazy, I don't even know what that was he had on. But anyway, that's another story. All right, we start with night 2. How do we feel about seeing Steph out there to open up night 2?
I thought that was a pretty cool thing, actually. I'm not even.
Now that was my first word for the night because I did not expect to see Steph. I've seen some things, and Steph is like, "Nope, I'm out. I don't want anything to do with this." But I know she shouted out her husband, and I get that going in a different direction. We all can see it. If you watch it, you can see it. You know what's going on. But to me, it was a shock to see Steph there.
I didn't expect to see her, but I did think it was pretty cool that she was there.
It was, and a lot of people, regardless of whatever you hear, a lot of people in the locker room like Steph. A lot of the girls like Steph, but a lot of the boys like Steph too. I mean, they said they like having her around. They say she's good for morale. So, I know she's kind of embroiled in what that is they got going on over there. But people like Steph. I mean, Steph. They like her.
Because she gives me vibes of a legitimately good person. Like, honestly. And I kind of noticed that sometimes when she was in some of her roles when she was supposed to be the authority figure, some of the ways she presented herself, even though she wasn't supposed to be a bad guy or necessarily a good guy, she was just supposed to be the authority figure. I don't know if you could necessarily hate her. Like, either way.
Yeah.
Like, even as the villain, it's like, I'm supposed to hate you, but you seem like so legitimate as a good person. I don't know if I can really hate you.
Well, a lot of the women on top give her props. I know I've heard Becky give her props. Rhea's giving her props. So yeah, I mean, you know what? A lot of people in the locker room like Steph. I like seeing her.
Bailey loves Steph too.
Yo, Bailey loves her some Steph. So the first match, night 2, Seth freaking Rollins versus Drew McIntyre, the Scottish Warrior.
Let's go.
All right. Now, I don't know where to go with this. This is swerve number 2. Because we got CM Punk is inactive, CM Punk is inactive, he can't do anything physical, blah, 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 blah. That's what we got. We didn't just get that the week of WrestleMania. We got that as soon as he hurt his arm when he came back in that next Raw with that big whatever that is on his arm. Right. We've been hearing it since then. I'm sorry I can't make WrestleMania. And blah 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 blah. Drew got T-shirts with the tombstone on it. All this other crazy. Okay, fine. Is that what we're doing? So
the way they made it seem is like he couldn't do anything. He could barely walk. His arm was screwed up so bad.
Yeah, like he should have been in a wheelchair, like Pretty Deadly was.
Right, right.
Yeah, with his arm was so bad off.
That's what they made it seem like.
Yeah, so of course Drew beat Seth Rollins down because, like I said, it was nothing left for Seth left. I didn't see, and when I looked at the match, I said something's got to transpire because if Dame is gonna cash in, Drew's gonna crush him because he hadn't really taken any damage.
Well, I mean, I feel like Drew might not crush him, but it would have to be a war to the end in order for Damian Priest to win still.
No, I think Drew would have crushed him. It would have been ugly. It would have been really, really ugly, really, really fast. But
even with that said, I feel like it still ended up being a pretty good match though with him and Seth. Like that was actually kind of tough.
Yeah, but like I said, if the first word was Steph, and I definitely considered that a swerve because I didn't see that coming. But that what happened after that? Drew holding the belt for a whole 5 minutes and 46 seconds.
And good grief, that means Sami Zayn had to get beat up again. I mean, not Sami Zayn, excuse me, Seth Rollins. That means Seth Rollins had to get beat up again.
Like I said, he didn't have any time to recover from the night before. So he got beat up again. Of course he got beat up. Because you fighting Drew. Drew was going to beat you up anyway. You knew that.
That's the way Drew fights.
Yeah.
Drew just fights.
Yeah, if you just in a match with him anyway, you will get beat up. That's just how that's going to work. Yeah, so then Drew, he got to doing other things. And I think it was supposed to be a moment like Drew did what he accused Seth of doing. About not focusing on what he was supposed to be focusing on and, turning everything around like that. So he all up in Drew's face. I mean, CM's face and doing this, that, and the third. And there's no way you're going to tell me that CM was going to sit there and take all that. He just wasn't. Like, I mean, if people are showing videos of him choking people out.
Right.
You already know he's not going to sit there and take that. That's not who he is. You don't want to be that guy.
True.
So, he was going to beat Drew down. And then we had the Bondage Undertaker come in. And I'm glad he got rid of that briefcase because that was starting to bug me.
Well, I feel like you said, I feel like he had to do it because, again, it was just taking too long. I feel like he was going to run out of time.
I felt like he was going to hold that thing a whole year. He was never going to catch it.
Well, I almost felt like it would be time for the next one. And if the next one comes, then it's too late for you to cash in yours.
Yeah, I felt like he would have to win again because he didn't cash it in. So I don't know if he's going to be a transitional champion or not. I think DP definitely deserves it. I think it would have been better had he got it after a little bit after the San Juan, the backlash of San Juan, because he was hot then. I mean, we know that DP does some good work, and for goodness sake, he's got Razor Ramon's finisher, so it can't be all bad, right?
Right.
And he's a phenomenal wrestler. He's in great shape. He's got a great look. He can talk. You need to push him. You definitely need to push him. He can definitely do what it is you want him to do, and he's a Puerto Rican. He's not a luchador.
Yeah.
So push him to the moon. Make him be a super duper star, and definitely do because he's got the ability. He's got a lot of tools that you want in a champ.
He's too talented for you not to make this a good run. Honestly, I feel like.
Yeah, definitely. I'm with you.
Too physically strong. He's too athletic. He's got good charisma. Like he's really that guy.
He knows how to work a match too.
Yeah.
Like he knows how to do moves. It's not just doing the moves. He knows how to work a match. Like you can see, it's obvious he knows how to work a match. So if you got all these tools, push him. You just definitely push it. And maybe when it's time, when his deal is up, he may decide to re-sign with you. This may be great for you. Oh, that reminds me of something else we have to talk about at the end. It's another woman that they got coming over to WWE. Allegedly, and I say allegedly because you know how these things are, she's already signed.
Everything is always alleged, technically.
With WWE, it's always alleged because if I sign you today, you're gonna show up at SummerSlam.
Right.
You know that. Yeah, you gonna show up. If I sign you today, you're showing up at SummerSlam. And not only will you show up at SummerSlam, you will not be talked about on air until SummerSlam.
Right.
Yeah. Until your actual match. You won't be built. Nothing. You just show up there and you wrestle. That's what happens.
That being said, I hope this catapults Damian Priest onto bigger, better things. Love Damian Priest.
Oh yeah, DP is awesome. I definitely want DP to benefit from this. I think this is the perfect thing for Drew because Drew now is like the angriest human being ever.
Actually, I kind of agree with that.
And this is great for Drew's character. Oh my God, Drew is gonna smash this, bro. Drew is gonna smash this, especially after what happened on Raw. Drew is gonna smash this. He's gonna so smash this because he is now the angriest person ever. Like in the history of the world, he is now mad.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he's angry, and that's great for Drew. That is. All right, the match after that was The Pride versus the Final Testament in a San Juan tribal combat Nigerian drum Philadelphia street fight. They're all the same. Stop renaming the street fights. I'm tired of this. The gimmick is old. Just call it street fight and let it go. Just because you're in a town, it's a San Juan street fight. It's a Philadelphia street fight. It's all the same street fight. You use weapons. You use the kendo sticks to break up. It's all the same match. Just say it's a street fight and leave it at that.
And really, in all those street fights, you have 3 weapons. You have kendo sticks, you have chairs, and you have tables.
I don't know. Sometimes you can work in a trash can.
Yeah, you're right. Sometimes you work in the trash can.
Which is probably the only line of work that we will ever say that about.
Right. But really,
that's a sentence that you just don't all the time say.
Right.
Anyway, yeah, that's yes.
Okay, I actually ended up enjoying the match a lot more than I thought I would. The spot with Scarlett and B-Fab with the Russian leg sweep through the table was absolutely insane.
That was an insane spot, especially for those two. Because Scarlett doesn't get down like that. And B-Fab, we already know she's actually been training, it looks like.
Yeah, that was...
That spot in there was insane. And Montez almost jumping into the front to the first row from the top rope was crazy too. He cleared the barrier. His legs were over the barrier and he brought him back. But he cleared the barrier.
One of the craziest things is I actually ended up enjoying that match a lot more than I thought I would. Because I wasn't that big on after the build-up. The whole way it went on too long. I hope both teams get something good out of this. They can both go on and go their separate ways and get something good.
Yeah, I hope so too. I mean, it was good to see AOP finally get their comeuppance. And I see that now they're down on NXT Wrecking Shop. So I hope they stay down there in Wreck Shop and do things and then come back a little bit later. To be honest with you, I think they should probably lose Karrion. At this point, I hate to say this about Karrion because Karrion is extremely talented. And I believe with the right gimmick, Karrion could get over, but I don't know if they know what that is.
Well, I feel like it could even be with AOP because I feel like when it started, I was digging Karrion as the leader of a big bad faction, and they're all like humongous, and they're all like at least 6'something, like 6'4", and they beat the crap out of people.
But they all have no personality. They're the same dude. It looks like they took one guy and they cloned it. Like they need somebody like Paul Ellering who needs to start talking more and building these dudes up. Because it's like they're indistinct guys.
It's something else I can't necessarily understand why he doesn't, like, he should be their mouthpiece, really, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, we all know Paul Ellering has been around since, like, I don't know, the beginning of wrestling. Since somebody put somebody in the first Lou Thesz press. He was, I mean, you know. He probably,
even before.
Yeah, he probably was Lou Thesz's granddad. But anyway... Well, at least his godfather, nothing else. But, yeah, I mean, he been around forever. I used to watch him in the NWA days, and that's been, 40 years ago? In the 80s. Yeah, that was 40 years ago. So, I know what person, what Paul Ellering is. Like, I know who he is, I know what he is. And he should be talking for these guys. But as a tag team, I don't like them because, all right, so you got look at the tag teams that you have. Pretty Deadly. Who you got? Tez and Dawkins. They're distinct guys.
Yeah.
I know Axe and Smash. If you go back and look, the Road Warriors. I mean, Powers of Pain. You have guys. They're two distinct guys. Now they both wreck shop, yeah, but they're distinct guys. I don't know if I feel that there's a distinction between AOP. They look the same. They act the same. They wrestle the same. And there's nothing spectacular about either one of them.
Well, that is something.
Like they're big and they wreck stuff. Demolition was the same way. But keep in mind, one of the guys from Demolition was Repo Man. Let's get that straight. One of the guys from Demolition was Repo Man, and there you go.
Well, I feel like they could both be something. It's just like you said, they need to do some more character works. They can get a little bit more personality or something. I don't know. They need to have more of a personality or like even a character even because they're just kind of robot yes men.
Yeah, I mean, they don't do anything. Like, okay, they go in and they break stuff, and then like they stand in the middle of the ring with their arms up, which is the last thing I saw of them on NXT was them standing in the middle of the ring with their arms up, and with the NXT belts. Even though they didn't win them, they went and beat somebody up. And I don't know. I mean, I guess.
I don't know. Maybe with more time, they could really be something. I hope they really end up turning into something better.
Maybe.
They might have not had enough time yet, to be fair.
Yeah, maybe not. I don't know. Because, they were there, and then they disappeared, and then they came back.
Yeah.
But I don't know really what they were when they left.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, too.
And I'm not impressed with them as they came back, to be honest. They just not, I don't see anything in it that's worth pushing, to be honest. I just don't. I mean, I'm not saying that I know they grown men and that's what they do for a living. But part of that is booking, though. Y'all got to book us so they're monsters and make us want to care about them. And you haven't done that. Like, yeah, you haven't made us care.
Also true. If you had booked them like you booked Solo Sikoa at first, we probably would have cared.
If you booked them like you booked Nia Jax, we would care. Nia Jax, they hated Nia Jax. Nia Jax, he went out, came back. Nia Jax is smashing people, like straight smashing. And she's not really great on the mic.
She's not bad, though.
She's not horrible, but she's not, like, great on the mic.
She's not the greatest ever on the mic, but she's definitely, I would even say, pretty good at even.
Maybe. But, I mean, she came in, she was smashing people, though. And, like...
Part of it is she knows how to play it so well.
See, I feel like some of that is her. Because, her being part of the bloodline and all. But some of that, I don't know. I mean, I feel like AOP could do that. See, I feel like AOP could do that, but they don't have any personality. Like, they beat people up. Like, there's nothing to make you hate them. Like, if they're supposed to be heels, there's nothing to make you hate them. They come in and they break stuff and they leave. And they stand over some people with the belt. But you don't care enough about them. There's something missing there that would make you hate them as heels. Yeah. Like, if they turn face, you wouldn't care.
Well, I feel like they maybe even need to talk more trash or something, maybe. Like,
that might help. I don't know what it is, but it's like, see,
like, what if beat up on you and be like, yeah, that's why you suck. Like, that's why I don't like your mom or something. Like, anything at that point.
Yeah, well, one of the things with me is, if you're a heel, if you turn face, is anybody going to care? I don't feel like anybody's going to care if they turn face. Because then nobody cares if they're heels. They're like, so it's AOP. We saw you beat up Bobby Lashley, and okay, that's fine. And Bobby can destroy you all for real anyway. He's that guy. And that's another thing. We don't really enjoy seeing Bobby Lashley get beat up like that because we know who Bobby Lashley really is.
Well, past a certain point, it's also goofy because he's too humongous to be beat up like that.
Yeah, like that. Granted, it's going to take 2 or 3 dudes like that size to beat him up.
He's like 6'1", 6'2", 275 pounds.
But not those 2 dudes. I know that he's 300 pounds, and I get all of that, but I don't know. I think put him in a feud with Eric and Ivar, and then we'll see what they got.
My point is, if Bobby Lashley was as tall as them, he would be 300 pounds too, and he's almost 300 pounds even if he's not.
Yeah, see,
he's humongous.
You put him in a feud with Eric and Ivar with Valhalla, and then you got AOP, and see, that'd be beautiful.
Actually, I don't know. I feel like that would be a great chance. I feel like for AOP to level up too, wrestling Eric and Ivar, and that would give Eric and Ivar something to do. I feel like I could actually get into that feud a little bit.
Yeah, that would be a good feud. I feel like that'd be a great feud to have those 2 battle because Eric and Ivar. See, and even with Eric and Ivar. They're 2 distinct guys. Yeah, they're in a tag team. The Viking Raiders experience.
Warriors.
Whatever. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, they're 2 distinct guys. But they work as a tag team, and they beat people up. And people like the Viking Warriors now because they see what's going on in the ring. These guys are talented.
Honestly, I love them.
Okay, the big guy that flips around scares me. And Ivar scares me a lot.
Well,
because he's a big guy. He's I forgot what, 320, 315.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Humongous.
He has no business flipping around the way he flips around.
The same size as like Otis or whatever, pretty much.
Otis is like 350 almost, like 340
I didn't know he
something.
was that big.
Yeah,
Otis
Otis
is
is
330.
yeah, body by stick.
Yeah, I didn't know he was that big.
Yeah, but he's a big guy, and there's no way he should be able to do a moonsault off the top rope.
Well, they're both big and they're both athletic.
That's crazy. And,
Like-
and the spot he always does with the barricade,
Right.
that's crazy that a big man can do that.
And I feel like he's had some martial arts experience because that little spinning heel kick thing he likes to hit is too perfect for him not to have had martial arts experience somewhere. He hits it too perfectly with too much speed and too much accuracy and way too clean for him not to have any martial arts experience.
Yeah. I can't imagine that guy not having I don't want to imagine him with martial arts experience though. That dude is dangerous looking, bro. I would not want to meet him in an alley. I don't want to meet him in the daytime. I want to meet him at night. No, I don't think so. We're not gonna do that. All right, next match, we had your boy L.A. Knight
Yeah.
versus AJ Styles.
Nah. Stop playing.
What do we think of that?
I actually really loved it. I loved the build. I loved the actual match. It ended up being a great match to me. Me personally, I was pulling for LA Knight the whole way. I wanted him to win.
Yeah.
And then he did, and that made me happy. That being said, AJ Styles is doing great work with this heel turn. I love that too.
Oh, yeah, that's good work.
He's like the nastiest character ever. He's just mean. He's just like, well, I don't have to be your friend because you don't give me anything in return. So
because you lose matches. So I'm not going to be your friend.
yeah, he's like, you lose matches, I don't. So
Yeah.
I don't have to be your friend.
I
I love that.
Well, I will say
He's doing a great job.
I will say the build was probably better than the match. But that's because the build was so good. This is not saying that the match was bad, but the build was so good. To have a man fly halfway across the world to hit you with a chair is awesome.
It's beautiful.
And then to have me come to your house and rumble in your front yard is awesome.
Well, no, I'm actually just going to beep the horn in your driveway until you decide to come outside, and then I'm going to jump you.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. I'm not saying the match was bad, but the build was so great on that one. So yeah, the match was never going to be that good. Because the build was so awesome. And the match was good. I'm not saying that the match was bad. The match was good, but the build was just incredible. And it made you hungry for the match.
It did. I was into it from day one.
Yeah, right? Yeah, it was a good match. It was a good match. I'm glad our boy LA Knight won. And I hope this propels him to get somewhere and do something. Because I feel like they squandered his momentum too. Just like they did with Damian. Like I said, Damian was probably never as hot as he was when he wrestled Bad Bunny.
True.
And I don't feel like they did anything with it.
Well, I hope they don't squander AJ's momentum coming out of this either, because also, even though he lost, his character work is great right now. He's got a great thing going. I hope he doesn't get squandered either.
No, I don't see that happening because AJ is such a phenomenal, if you'll pardon the pun, he's such a phenomenal performer that you can't, I don't know if you can't leave him, you can't kick him to the curb. You can't leave him out there.
That's what I thought about LA Knight, but then they took him off TV for several weeks before, so.
Yeah, they did that. They did squander his momentum. Also, what did we do with the Good Brothers? Did we work hard to bring them back so that they could not be on TV?
I don't really know. I don't.
I mean, you didn't even really explore with them breaking up with AJ. Like, we don't really know what happened. AJ just stopped talking to him.
Yeah. Well, see, I hope that's one of the things he goes into more, that they dive into more, that his feud with Knight is done, because that needs to be explained a little bit better. And so I hope they dive into that maybe as his next feud.
Yeah, so I wasn't a fan of how they did that, because I still don't know. Keep in mind, the Good Brothers had to drop a strap in order to get to the WWE. They were champions.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they had to drop a strap to get to the WWE, and then they got there and nothing happened. So I don't know how that. I don't know why they did that. That was crazy.
Maybe they just wanted to reduce schedule. That could have been possible.
And they got a reduced schedule, all right. That's for sure. They definitely got a reduced schedule. Logan Paul versus all the initials, KO and RKO.
Yes. I love Randy Orton and KO and Logan Paul in any circumstance, basically, when it comes to wrestling.
Yeah, Logan is awesome. Logan is good, considering that he hadn't wrestled 15 matches. Logan really. One of the things about Logan is he gets the psychology of wrestling. He knows how to make you not like him. Now, part of that is actually him. He is naturally that guy.
Yeah. It's crazy considering he didn't grow up in the business, like you said. He knows how to work a match. He knows how to stand up and be like, oh, yeah, that's why you suck, Philly.
Yeah. Cleveland is better. Yeah, we know.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, he does all the classic heel things that make you hate it. See, this is what I was saying about AOP. There's nothing to make you hate them. We know we hate Logan Paul, but we know that he's good in the ring, and we hate that too. We hate the fact that he doesn't have any experience, and he's better than half the guys on your roster. We hate that. We hate the fact that he understands the business, and we love the fact that he understands the business, and he knows how to make us hate him. And we realize as wrestling fans, even though we hate him, he's great, and we hate him for that too. And that's good. That's good. That's what we want.
I would say he's one of the best performers you even have, honestly.
Yeah, now the way they booked him, perfect. I mean, he doesn't defend all the time. That's great for him. He doesn't have to. He shouldn't have to. This is great. And what I think they should have done with Roman some of them times, like when other people are wrestling and he's not involved in the match, he commentates and he'll send like little vignettes in about it and talk about how everybody else in the match sucks. That's great.
See, and I love when he was endorsing A-Town Down Under. Like when they were in the tag team tournament. When he endorsed them, and he's like, no, those are my boys. They probably win it. They're the best people in the tournament. See, I love that. That was great.
Because remember they did that angle Friday night on SmackDown, where they had the where they sent them over to ambush the initials.
Right. Well, see, that was one of my favorite things, is because like you said, they sent in vignettes. He was involved, even if he wasn't there. He was sending a little something to make you mad, at least let you know he's still around. He's like, yeah, I'm the greatest ever, and you're not.
Yes, and you suck. And we love that about Logan. So I actually think Logan should hold at least through the summer, because Logan is a great champ. He's a great champ. And I believe that the RKO KO feud, oh my gosh, that will blow the house off most days. Like it'll be, that'll blow the roof off.
In real time, like I don't really know now that he's done feuding with. I would say if this ends up being the end of the feud with Orton and KO, I don't really know if you have anyone left that's really gonna beat Logan.
Oh yeah, they're gonna have somebody beat Logan.
Well, I mean, like you said, he would have to hold the belt for a while longer, because also then they would need help, because Logan always has help.
Yeah, well, that's part of the thing. You're gonna have to assemble the Avengers again. So,
because Logan likes to cheat, but again, he plays into the cheating so well.
And he
doesn't actually cheat, and he still wins.
And his henchmen get beat up every time he's out there. Like I don't know how many different people you can put in a prime bottle, but they're all getting their behinds whooped. You just know that somebody come out with a prime bottle, they're getting their behind whooped. You know that they're gonna take a move, and that's what's gonna happen. That's it. Always happens that way.
Me personally, I'm not even getting in the prime bottle no more, because I don't want to be hitting no more.
Well, that's what happened with KSI. You know he was in there that one time, but he wasn't in there last time. He's like, oh no, fam, we not ever.
And how did you feel about that spot with Speed?
Moving on.
It looked like he died. I was like, is he? Like at one point, Pat said something like, "Oh, is he all right? He's not. He hasn't moved yet." And I was like, "No, he really wasn't moving at all. Like, is he okay?" Like,
Yeah, RKO under that table. You didn't move no more.
Yeah, that was rough. He didn't. Yeah.
I don't know if he was supposed to go through the table or what, but he didn't move no more.
Oh, we didn't hit the match with the girls in it.
Oh,
I thought that match went by the numbers. It did what it was supposed to do. It was supposed to get Jade over. It got Jade
yeah,
over.
with
That
Bianca
was
and
Bianca, Naomi, and
Jay Cargill versus Dakota Kai, Io Sky. No, versus Dakota Kai.
and the Kabuki Warriors.
Yeah, versus
Kairi Sane and
Kairi Sane and Asuka. Yeah.
yes, and
Excuse me, not Dakota. I'm not Io Sky.
and to win by the miss.
Right.
Yeah, that's
See, I love that too because now she missed her own partner. That I feel like builds stuff in there, which I always love.
That plants some seeds.
I love the planting of seeds.
Yeah. So do we think damage control is long for this world?
I don't know. I feel like they even still could be, but I was wondering without the pirate. I was wondering.
Yeah. Well,
I was wondering if she gets kicked out of the group. Actually, like if her and Asuka fall out, then, but the group stays together.
well, I don't know because Oscar and Kyrie got history, so
Right.
they might be together. I don't know what. Now that we know what we know about Io, does she team back up with Dakota Kai? I mean, is that a thing?
That too. I was wondering, or if they just
Now that they've given Dakota Kai, clearance to wrestle, which is good. You're good. It's good to see people back in the ring.
Right.
Yeah. Do we put them back together as a tag team, and we have Kabuki Warriors as a tag team feuding with them?
Ooh, no, that's a thought I hadn't thought about. I was thinking it was going to be just the base Kabuki Warriors, all three of them, and minus Dakota Kai. But with those two feuding against the other two Kabuki Warriors, I would love that actually.
That might not be bad, and you can build it like they know each other very well because they were all in a faction together.
Right.
Blah blah blah, and that way you move Bailey past that on to something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, that brings us to our next match. Bailey and Io Sky. Now, we knew Bailey was going to win this match because Bailey had to win the match. Because, like I say, Bailey's been feuding with Damage Control for how long now? And they've been whooping her behind. So,
she got beat up too many times to lose the match, honestly.
Yeah, she did. We know she did. I mean, we not tripping.
Like, for real, I thought it was a great match. I actually enjoyed it, loved it. Bailey's a great performer. Io Sky is a great performer. They're both great.
Yeah, it was a good match. We knew Bailey had to win. My favorite was the elbow.
Yeah.
She loves the elbow because that's the same elbow that Xavier Woods used to use, and they both come from the Macho Man Randy Savage. Dig it.
I noticed too. I was like, it really kind of gave the victory some meaning to me because I noticed in that match, Bailey hit all the finishing moves that she's kind of used over her career. She hit the Bailey to belly, she hit the elbow, which was for a while the finisher too, and then she hit the Rose Plant.
Yeah. The elbow drop is that's her Macho Man. Everybody's got a Macho Man thing, and they always come off the back, bam, with that elbow drop. And I love the elbow drop. The elbow drop is great.
See, I do too, but it made it more to me because I was like, also not her calling back to every era of her, but also you could tell how far she had to go to beat this person.
Right.
Like she used every finishing move that she's like ever used, basically.
She had to go in her bag and get everything in order to whip Io. Yeah, and that's what that should have looked like. Right. As bad as they beat her down, that's what that should have looked like. Yeah, you're right.
And that made Sky look like the ultimate badass. It made her look like the ultimate baddest person ever.
It did. It made everybody look pretty BA in the match. It was a good match. Even though you kind of knew who was going to win. For a while, they had you guessing though.
I'm not gonna lie, for a while,
For a while, they had you guessing. They're like, EO might just beat this girl to death.
right?
The
one moonsault.
Because EO did beat her to death.
Yeah, the one moonsault though, I knew she wasn't gonna win because she didn't step on her first.
Oh yeah, she always step on you first.
Yeah, I noticed. I was like, she didn't step on her first, so that moonsault either isn't gonna hit or it's not gonna be the winning moonsault. Because whenever she wins, she always steps on you first.
Yeah, she always got to step on you first. That brings us to the last match. Your tribal chief versus Cody Rhodes. Mama Rhodes' son.
Yeah. So, how do we feel about this? I feel like it was the most overbooked thing ever, but maybe in the greatest way ever.
I have heard that exact thing said on more than one occasion. That's probably right. That's probably right. Because when the lights went out, everybody went, this is not going to be Taker. Even though, if you go back to the last episode, I believe somebody called Taker, did they not?
Yeah.
Okay, then.
Maybe somebody call him Taker. Me personally, the one thing that would have made it better for me is if it had been Stone Cold.
If the glass had broken. Yeah, I know. And that probably would have been it. Because it's The Rock and Stone Cold.
And I don't have anything against The Undertaker. I love The Undertaker. To me, he's the GOAT. I feel like he's the greatest wrestler of all time. To me. But
it's The Rock and Stone Cold.
But I wanted to see Stone Cold so bad.
But it's The Rock and Stone Cold.
That might have been my fault, though, because I already had my heart set on Stone Cold before it ended up being The Undertaker. And so I don't feel like that was even my opinion on that. I don't feel like it's even necessarily fair to The Undertaker. Okay. Because I already had my heart set on seeing Stone Cold.
All right. Now, I'm only going to say this one time. Cena came in. Who did he beat him?
Solo Sikoa.
And what happened to Solo Sikoa?
He went through a table.
He ate a table. Solo eats tables. He's a termite. He likes tables. He eats a table. That's what he does. You go put Solo through a table. He will go through a table. And the table will demolish. And he will be demolished. And you won't have to worry about him. But the spot with Jay and Jimmy was sick, though.
The spot with Jay and Jimmy was bananas.
That was dumb. It was so much so that when he was on Raw, they taped Jay's ribs up. Man, that spot was sick.
That was bizarre. And it makes sense that you never see both of them after that spot. So I was like, no, I would never get up. I would just lay there.
That spot was insane. But I felt like that spot was better than anything they did in the match.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
That spot was insane.
Yeah, that spot was unreal almost.
Yeah, it was. It was unreal. When I saw him flying, I was like, oh, wow. Okay.
Like, off the however tall stage through it.
I don't want to see what they landed on. I don't. They could still be falling now because you never saw them fall. You see them fall, but you never see them land. You just the camera cut away. I'm just like, I don't want to see how this land. I don't want to see how they land. I don't care if they landed on a crash pad. I don't want to see it.
Right?
I don't want to see it. This is ugly looking because they were like, wee.
Yeah, that
like
was,
an amusement park.
That was damn near painful.
I'm like, no, no. I don't care how much you pay me for WrestleMania, no.
Right.
I'm not, no.
I love the physical work The Rock had been doing, like when he wrestled on night 1 and in night 2. I feel like The Rock actually was putting in a great performance. Lots of people were like, he's not what he used to be, whatever. I don't know. I think he was putting in great. I think it's also considering he hasn't wrestled in how long, he was great.
Like wrestling in like 10 years. But I think The Rock was great. I don't know if I thought one choke slam should have put him down. I felt like him and Taker should have brawled.
That's how I agree with that. I feel like he might have needed a choke slam and a stunner.
I would have felt like at least more than one choke slam.
Especially as big as he is now too. Like the final boss after his work on night 1 in the tag team match, I was like, I feel like one choke slam would not have been enough to even hurt him. He would have been hurt maybe, like a little.
I wanted to see him do The Rock what DP did to Drew with that South of Heaven.
Right.
That thing was nasty.
It would have to have been something like vulgar looking.
That was a nasty looking South of Heaven, and it was one of the prettiest things I've ever seen. I mean, that was a beautiful South of Heaven, but it looked so nasty. Oh my gosh, the South of Heaven looked so nasty. It was terrible. But it was great. But it was terrible. It was terrible. But yeah, that's what I would like to have seen, and I thought that there should have been more there. But I mean, okay, it's fine. We finished the story. That's great.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're done with that. For the love of Pete's Dragon.
I'm glad to hear finish the story one more time,
bruh.
I don't want to hear. I don't want to read a book ever again.
I feel like Roxy. What do you say? Bleep your story.
Right.
I'm tired of you and your story. I can't. I cannot with you and your story, bro.
Factual.
Yeah. Okay, and so that was all of WrestleMania. Overall, what'd you think of WrestleMania?
I actually loved it. I feel like even the match with Jay Cargill, it went how it should have went. That was what it should have been.
That's what it should have been. I felt like it was good. You got a chance to, spotlight everybody.
Right.
So I felt like that was good.
So I'm saying, I feel like WrestleMania was really great.
Yeah, I feel like
it.
I feel like
loved all of it.
That was good. Right. Yeah, I didn't really mind WrestleMania. So other than the Jimmy and Jay match, I think they made up for it on night 2. It was pretty good. Pretty good. I give
really made up for it in some of the matches that we got on that night before that one.
Yeah, I think night 2. Now that I in retrospect, I'm probably liking night 2 a little bit better than night 1, but not a whole lot.
Yeah,
night 1 was good, and night 2 was good too.
Right.
Yeah, sometimes you have one of the nights that's way better than the other night, and I don't know if I feel like that was the case this year.
No, I don't feel like it was. Right?
Yeah, I feel like both the nights were good,
almost about equal.
Yeah. All right, so then we have a sleep, and then we wake up, and it's the Raw after WrestleMania. So then we have this segment with Cody Rhodes and the final boss.
Yes.
Everybody wants to know what The Rock put in Cody's hand.
I have no idea. I heard it might be like a lighter because Cody's bus caught on fire, and so somebody was saying it might be a lighter. I had heard it. What I was thinking is it should have been like it should have been like one of those like petals off of
one of those little
necklace.
Spiky things off of Roman's tribal chief. Because when he gave it to him, he said, "Don't break my heart again."
Well, see, what I was thinking is it should have been one of the flowers off the flower lay one. That's what I was thinking, because that one is technically like the one they only wear on special occasions, if that makes sense.
That was the one that Jay had on the tribal chief match, the tribal combat match. Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's the special one. And so I was thinking maybe it was like one of those flowers that they use for the lays on those. I was thinking that could have been what it was, because that was like the special one as opposed to just like the regular. That's what it was I originally thought, but I don't really know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Well, I guess we will find out. we will find out very soon, probably. And I know you like The Awesome Truth and The Invisible Man versus the Judgment Day. And by The Invisible Man, you know what I mean. The guy you can't see.
You mean Super Cena?
That guy you can't see. So you knew he was coming because he put it out as the guy you can't see. I know you enjoyed that because it's The Awesome Truth. I know that's your tag team.
Let's go.
And it was awesome to see Cena and Miz, and like that was like that's like the old school reunion right there, right?
And our Truth, and they all stand over everybody. Hit the 15 knuckle shuffle. Stop playing.
And the AAAAAA.
Whole lot of spelling.
No, it's just one letter. It's just a whole bunch of times.
Right?
Yeah, the 6A.
Yeah, right.
They had the 6A. So yeah, that was nice. That was nice. Yeah,
that was fun. I just enjoyed that.
I knew you would.
I enjoyed.
I knew you would. And I'm only bringing the Sammy and Gable versus Imperium matchup because I still say that Gable's got a heel because Sammy's already given him because he said because you did all the training for me and everything I'm gonna give you a title match.
Right.
I don't think Sammy's going to lose that match, but I think that's going to be the start of the Gable heel turn because that match I think is going to be in Montreal.
So,
and if it is in Montreal, which is the home country of Montreal, he's a
Yeah, yeah.
He's a Canadian of Syrian descent, so don't ask me how that works.
Real
Immigration.
time.
Immigration. That's all I got for you. But yeah, so I don't
So yeah, you would have to turn heel in Montreal too, but that's a different story.
see, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that Sammy beats him. He gets so upset about losing that he changes.
See, and I feel like
that he goes heel.
That would be one of the angles I feel like that would make the most sense.
Yeah, I feel like he's got to go heel. And if he goes heel, you got to give him the belt too. Because we all know that he's really good. He should have probably beaten Gunther. But again, I feel like you squashed his momentum like you squashed everybody else's. That's what you do.
Even Sammy's momentum had died down a ton considering what it used to be by the time he actually did beat Gunther. And I'm not saying I still don't love Sammy. I still do. But I'm just saying, even then.
You're right, though, because when Sammy was fighting Roman, even if you weren't going to give Sammy the belt, he was white hot, man.
Well, honestly, I felt like Sammy could have beaten the entire world. Like, if you had put him in a gauntlet match with the entire world, he could have won.
Yeah, he had that kind of momentum. He's a underdog, and you like seeing him fight. And that was his role, and he enjoyed doing that. Once he turned from the bloodline, he was the hottest property they had.
Really, really.
He should have got a belt the minute he hit Roman with the chair.
Yeah, like honestly, when him and KO main evented that night one of WrestleMania that time, he had to be him partially because he was one of the hottest things they had on television. Like,
yeah, he was hot. He was white hot when coming out of that. Yeah, coming out of that whole bloodline thing, because that was when the bloodline thing was just on fire. Like every week, we want to see what happened with the bloodline.
Right.
Yeah, every week was something different. And so yeah, when he hit Roman with the chair, and then he ended up fighting Roman in Canada.
Yeah.
For the belt. See, and a lot of people think Sammy should have gotten the belt then. They should have beat Roman. I don't know if I feel that way.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought he was gonna win a few times during that match, though.
Yeah, well, yeah, that match was. But again, though, this is a credit to who Sammy is. Yeah. Sammy's a really, Sammy can do this. Sammy can do this, like for real, for real. Sammy can do this. So, yeah, I mean, we like Sammy. Sammy can do this. I think he's going to be a good champ, and I think he's going to. As long as he has to stop wrestling Nakamura, I think he'll be all right.
Well, I don't mean to diminish Sammy's accomplishment in beating Gunther in any way, but I feel like after everything that Sammy has done, he kind of has to get this belt as a consolation prize.
Probably. Because they misbooked him.
Yeah, because he should have.
They misbooked him, and they know they did.
Yeah, they know they did him wrong, so it feels like almost he has to get something in return.
They know they misbooked him. You got to know. Anybody that looked at Sammy's story can tell they misbooked him. They know when they had their chances and they missed them. They missed all of them.
They've been treating him like Naomi.
Well, and Naomi wasn't even with the company, and I still think they treated her better than they treated him. Because Naomi had the sense to walk out.
True.
Naomi was like, "No, I don't have to do this with y'all." And when she came back, she had a few more zeros on that contract too.
Yeah. And that being said, she still only won like twice since she got back, and that's counting WrestleMania.
But Naomi is a little older now. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm saying that she's more experienced, so she knows a few more things now that are out there, and that she's not coming in like Jade Cargill. Right. Naomi knows what to expect from the WWE.
That is true, though.
She's been with them a long time.
Yeah.
She knows what to expect from the WWE. So now is her second run. She knows what this looks like, if you catch my drift. She knows what it's supposed to look like, and she knows if it doesn't look a certain way, then she doesn't have to stay, because she proved that. But they also know that she doesn't have to stay. She knows I will walk out of this company because I did it before. So y'all got to tighten up. And so,
Speaking of people walking out of the company, what do you think about Drew McIntyre potentially not re-signing with WWE?
He's going to re-sign. He's the angriest man in the world. He's going to re-sign. It's because
I think so.
this is some of his greatest work since he's been back in the since he's been Big Drew.
Yes.
This is made. I want to go out on a limb and say this is his best work since he's been Big Drew.
Yeah.
Like even when he won the title in 2020, with no fans, this is his best work. This is by far his best work. He's going to go on a tour, on a tear, and CM Punk. This is going to be tremendous.
What do you feel about potentially Sheamus not re-signing with WWE?
I see it, but I think he's supposed to be coming back, though. I think I saw something about him coming back. So. He coming back, and I think he is going to resign, but I saw something about him coming back. And
I know, like, you just had the Raw after WrestleMania, and he didn't come back. So.
Oh, he wasn't going to come back. I think he's scheduled to come back sometime between now and SummerSlam.
Oh, because I was saying, I don't know if he's still hurt or if they were just
they were
just doing the WWE thing.
He's on the tail end of being hurt, like he should be good, and I feel like he's going to show up before SummerSlam and whoop somebody.
Right.
And
I was wondering if they were doing the WWE thing where, like you said, he's been signed, like he's been healthy and he's been cleared to wrestle for like 3 weeks, but they won't put him on the show until the pay-per-view.
Yeah, well, that may be a thing. He's probably he may show up on the SmackDown or on one of the go-home shows.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, my guess is if the pay-per-view is on Saturday, he will show up on a SmackDown.
Right.
The SmackDown that on the Friday before. That's probably what's going to happen. Or he could just show up at the pay-per-view and just be like, "Hi, I'm Sheamus.
Right.
I'm going to beat you," and the crowd is going to pop because that's going to be one of those surprises that they love. So there's that. Well, I think that's about everything that we had to cover. This went a little long because we had 4 shows to cover, and we didn't cover every match because they don't have matches anymore. They just like to talk. So, but the segments are incredible.
Love the segments.
Yeah. So we will be back next week, and we will cover the Raw and SmackDown from next week and any other major developments that we can find and figure out. We'll see when Julia shows up, since she's supposed to be coming to WWE. Probably wouldn't look for her before SummerSlam either. But anyway, in the words of the immortal Teddy Long, keep it pushing.